1 second, I'm just waiting for, why is this one not, huh? It's just rotating. Should be working.
Do you have another phone?
I don't know. Oh, let me try it now. See? It just keeps rotating.
I got cut off of mine.
Instagram?
On Facebook.
Oh, why? Were you not nice? Hi, everybody. Okay. All right. So, do you want to play with that? And if you can get it to work, then we'll do it. Okay. So, what I want to talk about here today is this. Okay. The word fearless. A lot of people love the word. It feels fairly strong, doesn't it? And most people believe that they can't get there. And when we talk about fearless, it has a bit of an aggression to it. It's pretty aggressive, isn't it? It's not true. Fearless has no aggression. It has no aggression. You know, I am fearless, and I am not aggressive. I mean, somebody might find me aggressive because I hold the line, because I hold the line for myself, and then people think I'm being aggressive with them. But I'm going to tell you something. If I'm not fearless, if I don't hold the line for myself, will I get programmed very quickly into poisoning myself on every level? My family would make sure that I poison myself so that they're more comfortable. My friends would do it, and society doesn't give a crap. Because corporations own all governments around the world now. And everybody's being sold off by the pound. And fearless does not mean aggressive. I want to tell you something right now. I don't get on here and I'm not challenging government. I'm not challenging corporations. I'm not challenging these psychos. I'm just letting them know they have no power over me. Now, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just shut my mouth and just stay over here? Well, what would happen if 2% of the population actually came on board and actually stated that they know that everything is a lie that comes from government? Okay, all right. You know, we will give billions away to other countries, and we're not really. It's money laundering. I'm probably going to lose my platforms here now. And the reality is that we can walk right outside and we can see people suffering. We can go anywhere and see people suffering, even in our own homes. There is no programs that are human. There are no human programs that come out of the government. Never. And you're never going to get them. Don't get frustrated. Don't get angry. What, you think they owe you something? The whole thing was a setup. It was all just a setup to take your hard-earned money, to sell you off by the pound. The reality is that this planet is never going to change as far as the majority of the population goes, because it's so easy to rule, school, and fool. Tell me that when you've taken the course the first time, you know, you went home, thought you could save everyone, and then you found out you couldn't. Is this working? Okay. Anyways, then you took the course the second time, and then you found out that you needed to what? Mind your own business. And when I say mind your own business, it doesn't mean shut up. It means recycle your energy back into yourself and show people that you can become fearless without aggression. You know, so many young people want to become heroes. But you better make sure you don't become the wrong hero. What are you really fighting for? And you know what? I'm telling you right now that I will never do what the government tells me to do. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to live by any rules. I live by one message, one love, one law, unconditional love for myself and everyone else. If I love myself, I'm not going to speed down the road. If I believe that I'm abundant, I don't have to steal from anyone. I also know that people are not in control of their personalities, their realities, their emotions, or anything. So people are allowed to actually disrespect me because I know they're disrespecting themselves. If somebody comes on this platform and they feel disrespected, what are they doing here? I'm not going to go to a biker's club and drink and shoot up with drugs. Why would somebody come on to a self-love, self-care platform? Because that's all this is about. Learning how to love oneself, care for oneself, and then call me a dick. Seriously? Well, because guess what? Their life isn't going the way they want. They're angry. They can't vent it out on their family. Their family's already had enough of them. But they're going to come on this platform and vent it on me. So understand something. People are always going to be losing their shit. Because the most important thing that we should have been taught was to love, honor, and respect ourselves first and foremost, not our parents. Our parents were adulterated and dysfunctional. Every adult's adulterated. I was dysfunctional. If I could redo it again, I wouldn't have treated my kids. I mean, by the time my daughter was 13 years old, she's the oldest one, we already screwed her up. By the time she was 14, she was out on the streets. I wasn't a bad parent, but guess what? It was a parent that I didn't love, honor, and respect myself because I definitely didn't teach her that. And understand, if you don't have parents today that love, honor, and respect themselves, you will get into alcohol, you will get into drugs, you will get into promiscuous sex or love making, whatever you want to call it, because you're searching for love. You come here as a spirit being, which is beyond love. It's beyond love. And then you said that you could be infused into an adulterated being, which is your mother, and hang out with another adulterated being, which is your father. And guess what? I'm not downing them. But you know as well as I do, as soon as you get here, you know, you're getting ruled, schooled, and fooled. And then you go to a Rockefeller Rothschild school, which is every school we go to. And it's only, I mean, think about it. You spent 12 years there. You got out of there. You didn't know how to feed yourself. You didn't know how to love yourself. You didn't know how to care for yourself. You definitely didn't know how to do it for another human being. You believed that you didn't deserve love. And then guess what? But you could get your pants off. And you could then invite a spirit being into the world without strategy. And guess what? These guys, the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, they don't care for each other. They go to war with each other. But when it comes to us, they'll sit down and they will plan on how they're going to sell us off by the pound and enslave us forever. So these guys, they all power hungry. You're either going to have the power of love or the love of power, and they've got the love of power. And I believe that they will always have the power on this planet because I believe that we're all here and we're being tested. Because guess what? You do have choice, but you don't have choice from 0 to 7. You're in a theta state. And the chances of you being with two awakened parents that totally unconditionally love themselves and each other, and they know that they're here on this spirit journey together, and that it's a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, and they got this. No. You know well as I do that you argued about money, you argued about love, you argued about everything. And that's what they do. They pin us against each other. Man against woman. Color against color. Okay? All right? Language against language. Religion against religion. And then how many people will actually go out and murder for their religion? We are so screwed up. I am opting out. I am not threatened by anybody that tries to threaten me. I get threatened all the time. Last night I'm doing a show on TikTok, you know, somebody's on there trying to warn everybody about me, right? Well, it's too late. Listen to me. Love them anyway. And if you can't love them, don't focus on them. Focus on what you love. Because understand something. Everything that you hate or everything that you dislike is your dis-ease. out of ease, out of harmony, out of alignment. That's all it's about. I want to see if you can stay in unconditional love and care for yourself and get to the point that you never have to forgive anyone again. And guess what? If you have people around you that you would forgive, you should not be around them. How does it feel when you have to forgive somebody once, twice, 3 times, 4 times for the same thing over and over again? That's called a hate-love relationship, and that's almost every family and every couple. Yes or no?
Yes.
So the reality is I'm not going to judge someone to have to forgive them. Like people will say to me, will you forgive me, dear? Are you kidding? I didn't judge you. I don't have to forgive you. But the reality is guess what? You're not bringing those drugs back into my house. I love you, but you're not going to do that again. That's the reality. You need to work this out. I will love you 100% all the time. You will never be punished. My youngest daughter, okay, she took out my car. It was brand new, and she's coming home from some party, and it's early in the morning, and she writes the car off because she hits a parked car. And I go, why did you hit the parked car? Well, Dad, the sun was in my eyes, so I had to reach down for my glasses. And I'm going, well, honey, guess what? You're not going to drive my car for years. And that's not a punishment. I am not going to let you murder yourself because you disrespect yourself in a car that I gave you, and then I need that guilt. If you need to knock yourself off, you do it, but without my car. Let me tell you something, whether you want to believe it or not, there is an evil entity on this planet. And it feeds off of human beings. And they are so, you know what, they'll get together and at least they'll strategize. People won't strategize with me, they'll just tell me to go F myself. Or you're a cult, or you're trying to steal people's money, or you murder people. I mean, it's just so lovely out there. You know, we can't even come together. I'm not selling flowers at the airport. I'm telling you to find your authentic self, love yourself unconditionally before anything else or anyone else. So help me God. If you don't, you are going to struggle and you're going to end up going to bed and hanging out with the wrong people. I am not hanging around with anybody, okay, that is trying to kill themselves. And killing yourself is a sugar addiction. Killing yourself is alcohol, smoking, toking, that you have to do it every day. To have one glass of wine every day is an addiction. Yeah, but I need it to calm down. I need it to be with him. I need it to be with her. We get along better when we drink. Yeah, until we have 2 or 3 or 4. And the reality is by the time, if you drink every day just one drink, by the time you're 50, you smell like something fermented. You're rotting. And guess what? Everybody is rotting out. Every disease means you are rotting out. If I could open up that part of your body, it would smell like rotting flesh. It's never going to change. And it doesn't need to. I have a beautiful life. Everybody knows. Lori knows. Sage knows. I make it quite evident what I want. I get up in the morning. Okay, it's dark here. First thing I want to do is laugh. Do something fun. Right? Don't we? Right away. Hey, have you ever seen me grumpy? What is grumpy? It's a program. Oh, he's just grumpy. No, he's constipated, emotionally and physically. He stinks. People don't change unless they're going to put their heart into it. And you'll never change if you believe that you're a sinner. You'll never change if you believe you're a sinner because you're never going to be good enough. You're never going to change if you feel you're a failure. I'm not a failure, but things fall apart for me. They'll fall apart and I'll go, thank you. Because I know that the Creator's got something better. Or I need to practice it more. That's all. I get it. You know, it's always been about repetition. The only reason why you're killing yourself is because they repeated it long enough and strong enough that you're not worth much. And every time that you go into one of your moods, do you make a salad? No, you probably chop your fingers off. So what do? You eat to the vibration that you believe is your personality, which it isn't, because you're just running programs. So is it really okay with everyone that I'm not with psychos and I'm not with people that are complaining about politics? When politics has never changed, it's always been the same. I mean, people that are involved in politics and join these different political groups, seriously? Are you like out of your skull? I'm not getting involved in government. I'm not getting involved in religion. I'm getting involved in nature and God Almighty. That's it. That's it. And then I'm going to rock my moment every moment. Nothing's going to take me away from that. Because everything that happens down here, okay, is supposed to be a distraction. Because believe it or not, you can end up being here for billions of years if you want, if you're not going to rise. If you're not going to become a high vibrational spirit being. You know what? Whether you want to believe this or not, Jesus blew off of this planet because he was able to bring his vibration up high enough to break from this invisible cage that's around the planet. We'll talk about that more in this class. I'm not going to do it on here because I'm already psycho to people. I'm not threatened by any of this. I mean, you know, what about this? I said to everyone, didn't we? We turned off all the phones. We put them in another room, but we did it casually. Not because we believed in it. But the reality is guess what? These guys are psycho. And we know that the greatest war that's going on is invisible. They're trying to program our brains so that we kill ourselves and each other. Tell me that's not true. My God, look at how many people work in a grocery store that's not a grocery store. It's a cancer store. 3% of the products in a supermarket are healthy. 30% of the products in a health food store are healthy. If you want to eat a healthy meal, you drive 20 minutes. If you want a poisonous one, you walk 1 minute. And guess what? It doesn't matter whether you're talking about any place, because people are programmed to poison themselves. You can hardly go into any place, even some place where you go to work out, and you won't find anything good. You'll find toxic supplements. You'll find toxic drinks. You'll find toxic food. I mean, people actually believe Gatorade is good. You know, right now, that Coke thing I did when I was walking through the airport is like 1.2 million views. And people are coming on there. Idiot, jerk, do your research, you know. Why don't you just die? I will drink my Coke until I die. You can't tell me what to do. I mean, where does this all come from? There's spirit beings that are locked in this physical body and they don't know how to rise. So guess what? The next time that somebody's angry, just smile and say, I love you anyway. And then walk away. Everybody's allowed to be what they want to be, but don't think that I'm going to bring my vibration down or I am going to meet your aggression with aggression. I'm not going to do it anymore. The only way that I can continue to grow and spread the word about unconditional love is become that completely, because that's the test. Believe it or not, I'm going to say something and then people are going to think I'm full of shit. But I sit and get up at night and I'll sit around 3 a.m. just quietly and just sit there. And basically, my little message is this. Let's find out if you're full of shit, Daryl. Because if you want to keep on going with this unconditional love thing, you are going to be attacked. And if you don't become that, you're going to want to quit. And yes, that's true. I get to a point that I sometimes want to quit, Lori? And I just tell her, I just had enough. You know, the world is not ready to love itself and to put the weapons down and the spitballs. They really aren't. And you know what? And the reality is this. Everything is about integrity with me, but people are going to say, well, that's his pitch. So you can't win. Don't think you're going to win. My pitch is integrity. Oh, yeah, that's what I would say, too, if you're ripping everybody off. You know, so you're not going to win, okay? They're going to try to do you in if you vibrate higher. And God loves them anyways, because even your own family are going to feel like you're leaving them behind. And the subconscious, until you create every program in there to be fearless, it will be fearful. So we know that only 1 out of 10,000 people will ever become fearless on this planet. And you better get that. Oh yeah, well that's going to change. No, it's not going to change. Guess what? We are on our 6th go around. Does anybody know that that's real science? That the planet has actually gone around 6 times and went into extinction. And extinction doesn't mean everything dies. Okay? All right? Don't believe in the Big Bang. That's bullshit. And know that every human being did not die off with every extinction and then start over again. All right, what is wrong with us? I believe 30% of the population, we will be down by 30% of the population in 10 years. And that's because close to 90% of the population is dying. That's BS, Daryl. Really, really. Why don't you take a look around? Why don't you go back to 1970s or 1960s and see the shape of people and go see the list of illnesses that we had back in the 1970s, which is only 50 years ago. And go take a look now. We have 20 times it. For every one, now there's 20. Okay? And understand something. They're going to keep coming at us. And they're going to keep coming at us. They're going to tell us there's not enough water. There's not enough food. There's not enough of anything. And it's all just a lie. This is the same routine they did the other 5 times. Now we're on number 6. And nobody's going to do anything different because you don't remember. My God, most of you don't remember, okay, back to 1970. You forget. Why don't you go look at a beach in 1970 and look at a beach now, and all we have is beach whales. And when I'm down there, I'm not offended. I just can't go to the beach unless I can find a quiet beach. If I go to the beach now, I just go, this is awful. All our brothers and sisters are eating themselves and poisoning themselves and killing themselves. I can't sit here. I tell Lori, we got to go. We got to go. Or we're going swimming early in the morning or later in the day. That's it. I can't look at this. And people are going, you arrogant prick, you. You arrogant prick, talking like that. We're allowed to blow each other up. Oh, really? Let me tell you something. I already said this. Okay? He's not grumpy. He's constipated. Okay? And you cannot be blowing yourself up and be inflamed and tell me that you're fun to be with. You're miserable. Most people are miserable. And I get it. And I feel for people. But I'm not going to suffer over it. The reality is guess what? It's all about addiction. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to good eating. I'm addicted to length and strength and detox and tone, not go to the frickin' gym and see how much and heavy I can lift to rip my shit apart. I mean, almost everybody in the gym that's over the age of 40 is in pain. And then all of these people that are physically fit and they look like they're structured by cement, they're miserable. 9 out of 10 are miserable. They're so sick. And they poison themselves continually. Let me tell you something. We are not high vibrational beings. Until you have unconditional love for yourself, you are not a high vibrational being. And I'm sorry. And I never say sorry, but I'm sorry. But guess what? When you were younger, the person that you probably hooked up with, you're going to kill each other now. It's very few and far between. I mean, if you want to wake up, if you want to rise, chances are you can't stay with that person that you married 10, 15 years ago because they're not moving. And you know that. You know what? It's like this. Hardly any men, but every woman goes, okay, so why'd you come to the course? Well, because I need strategies to be able to survive my husband. You think I'm kidding? I guarantee you, if we went through here and we had honesty, it would be 9 out of 10 women. Because men are, oh, please, 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 please. And you can say what you want, okay? All right? But men are devastating the planet, okay? All right? They are so quick to go to war. You know what? Men lost their way. But what they forgot was the home was the castle. Why is the blue light poisoning on? Why aren't they putting in proper lighting for their family if they love them? Why the LED? Why are we leaving the Wi-Fi on 24/7 and we just can't get it strong enough to download the movie on Netflix quick enough? Why doesn't a man know or take, guys, YUKA, download it. It's an app. And you can put on any of the packages and go there and every ingredient comes up. Okay? Yucca. And yeah, you can yucca a lot of shit. And I mean it. When Lori and I go to the health food store, we don't go and buy the same thing without looking. I mean, every week we look. Because as soon as something becomes popular to all us health nuts, okay, the tobacco industry buys it up and poisons it. Because the tobacco industry owns all food corporations in North America. All of them. Tobacco and oil owns all food corporations. So those same guys that told you to, when you smoke, breathe as deep as you can to exercise those lungs. So I get it. This is a training ground. And guess what? Welcome to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. And very few people are going to rise to the top on this one. You know, we look at people that have been spirit leaders that have come here. You all have the potential, but that means that you will have to turn your back on what the majority of the population is doing and your family. There's not one person here that can tell me that, oh, well, my whole family, we all eat right, think right, drink right. We just love life. We stay in the present moment and we own it. We got this. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Stetford family. They all drank the Kool-Aid. Listen, you're going to get 1 or 2 out of a family, that's it. A family could be 8 people, and you're not going to get any more than that, and that's the way it goes.
Most of the time, 0.
0, yeah, that's great. It's 0. So the reality is this. Think about it. Wow. Of all the games I could have picked in the universe, I picked this one where no one gets out alive. But understand something. I don't buy into that stuff either. Death. There's no death. There's dying. No, there's no dying. People aren't dying. What they're doing is they're self-loathing. They're self-hating. They don't even know it. You don't even know it. You take a look at anybody with a disease, they're not at ease, they're not in harmony. Go take a look at their cupboards in their fridge. Then go take a look at the relationship they have with themselves. Okay, they've been made to feel guilty. Maybe they got pregnant too early or whatever. Or they got divorced or they just been made by their partner or other people to feel that they're just not good enough. You're just not good enough. Anybody brings me anything with low vibration, I will not be upset, but I will not focus on it. If the majority of people, even in this room, if somebody came after you and they really didn't like you, you would either get angry or you would try to prove to them that you're worthy of their love. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why don't you look at people that believe that you're worthy? Why don't you look at that? Why do we, you know what people will do when they come and they take my course? I can't wait to get someone that's on their deathbed and then I can save them and I can prove to everyone that I know what I'm talking about. Listen to me, all you practitioners, when you leave here, you're looking for people that are healthy that want to stay there. You're not trying to sell insurance. You listen to me. And I'm going to tell you something. People want to come to us after they've done the radiation, the chemo, the drugs, the surgery, and then guess what? And we're like, and I tell all my practitioners now, do not touch stage 4 inflammation. And if you do, you make them sign off. Because that's somebody who's already fallen off the cliff and they're in free fall and they're going to land on their head. And the chances are, because if that person has had cancer once, twice, 3 times, you know they're running a terrorizing program. You know the relationship with themselves is not great, and with the people their spouse or whoever they live with. Remember something, you can activate health through a frequency and you can reactivate the disease through a frequency. If you don't believe me, go watch Emotional Chemistry of Cancer, Disease, and Healing in my library. That's the biggest study that was ever done. But people don't get that. You know, people will come on and go, you don't know what you're talking about. And guess what? I don't. And with the majority, I never know what I'm talking about because I don't talk like the majority. So I get it. So if you think you're not going to get attacked by people, you're crazy. So understand, you're all Braveheart heroes by taking this path. But remember something, you took the path for you. You took the path because you don't want to be recycled down here. Recycle, right? There's another one. Don't you just love it? The Rockefellers took all the glass off the shelves and made everything into plastic, absolutely everything. And then, are you recycling? So help me, did you put that in the recycle bin? Or is that in the other green bin or the blue bin or the white bin or the... You do know that it's all retarded. It's totally... I'm not playing this game. And most places don't recycle. They make you put it in there and then it all goes to the same place. And understand something. Why don't you talk to the Rockefellers that made everything into plastic? You can't even get rubber shoes anymore. They're all made out of petroleum. So understand, that's why I go in bare feet. And I won't go to bare feet to the bathroom, I promise. Okay? But the reality is this, I don't want to wear shoes. You can't wear shoes unless they're made out of petroleum. And that's because they don't want you to ground yourself anymore. I mean, where do we begin and where do we stop here? You mind your business. You go take a look at pristine nature and then you say, how can I live here? You go look at where the government is not organized, where they're disorganized, and you go and you live there. Or you at least go where, like Florida, where there's enough guns. You think I'm kidding? We're setting our fulfillment up in Texas, gun country. Florida, gun country. You know, the reality is this. I don't own a gun, but I want to thank everybody else for buying one. The reality is, I just violated. Now I'm gone off TikTok. Yeah, maybe gun. Anyways, they're gunning for me. And guess what? People are going to gun for you when you don't speak like the majority. When you speak like the majority, guess what? You're going to would you like to have the life that the majority's having? I mean, most of you don't even want your own life. That's why you came here. You wouldn't spend the money. And most of you only spent the money because I just can't take it anymore. I'm going to go listen to the quack. Okay? This is my last thing. Okay? I've tried everything else. Now we'll go try someone that's trying to start a cult. When you introduce something that the majority does not buy into, they're coming for you. But guess what? We don't need all kinds of friends. We need just a Braveheart nation. People that want to find their authentic self and become sovereign unto themselves. At least we can lean on each other when we need each other. But you shouldn't need to need people all the time. You should be enough for yourself. Be enough. Be enough for yourself. I don't need a lover, but I'd like to share my love with another beautiful human being. You need to get to that point. I just want something to love. Well, try yourself. And when you've succeeded at that, then and only then should you share it. Until you have succeeded with unconditional love for yourself, keep it to yourself because it's contaminated, it's corrupted, okay, and it's conflicted. Because I don't need you loving me because you need something from me. I need you shining the love you have for yourself on the world. That would be really cool. Isn't it really nice how we get married or we get hooked up with someone and we play love ransom all the time and we have all these moods? Isn't it great? Don't you just love your moods? What do you think? You love those moods? Aren't they fun, Sarah? Aren't those moods fun? Well, when are they going to all get done? You can't tantrum yourself into a better life. Kids will have a tantrum for 5 minutes. We'll do it for 50 years. Oh, how's Jim treating you? Oh, he's not hitting me anymore. He's getting pretty tired. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? Well, why don't we just call it like it is? There is more emotional and physical abuse in a house than there is outside the house. And that's because we have been taught to emotionally and physically abuse ourselves. You're only going to give what you are. And people are on here that are maybe new going, what a dick. You know what? No, I got it. Let's all hide our family secrets. Let's walk around on eggshells. Let's not talk about things. Let's just pretend that children aren't being stolen. Let's pretend that people aren't being poisoned. Let's pretend that the government really is trying to help us. Let's pretend that the medical system is actually health care. What the heck is wrong with us? Don't do drugs, but come to us. And it's the craziest thing. It's the Rockefellers for North America, and it's the Rothschilds for everywhere else in the world. Man, I just can't wait until we have another war with someone so that I could join and I can become a hero. Really. And you know what? I'm not trying to bash anybody. But the day that we don't opt into their BS, it's over. We don't buy their products. We don't go to their wars. We don't go to war with ourselves. That's the only time that you'll stop wars, when you never go to war with yourself. And that means that I am good enough. And I will love myself. And if nobody else wants to forgive me, I don't give a crap. They can walk around with that for the rest of their lives, because a lot of religions are good for that, aren't they? And guess what? I didn't say all of them. Some of them. And then guess what? The most powerful ones are the sickest almost. Are they or are they not? And guess what? We don't come together as a Braveheart family worldwide. There's 8.5 billion of us, and there's probably 250,000 of them, but they strategize. And they dumb us down. We'll shower in chlorinated, fluoridated water. We won't get a structure unit. Wouldn't want to buy that. Oh, and it's BS anyways. Okay, we'll buy bottled water in a plastic that's actually petroleum. That is only tap water. Dasani's just tap water. Or how about smart water for all the dumb people that went and got distilled water that you can't digest. And then they threw in some carbonate in there to try to alkaline it, and you bought their BS. It's just never ending. It's never ending. Go to Costco and you see the fathers proud, with the big case on here with those plastic bottles. And guess what? You ever taste those? You can taste the plastic. That's not plastic. Those are carcinogens. You can sell anything you want, okay, long as you're a corporation, and that you're going to create infection to inflammation to mutation, because you're serving the greater good, which is dis-ease, and keep it on the planet. Yeah, start telling your family, I love you, but I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not eating that. I love you, but I'm not participating in the same argument we always have. You're right, and I'm happy. The day that you totally love yourself, you won't be struggling with your relationships. And understand something. I don't cause any trouble for my family, do I? Do I argue with anyone? Do I try to change you? Do I try to change the girls or Jera?
No.
Okay. Do I say anything bad about their mother that loves me but would like to see me dead? No. That's none of my business. My business is to unconditionally love myself and send her as much love and everybody else. So I really don't care what people think. Because most people don't think, do they? They react and attack. And I run a program. But I've been running this program for 30 years. Go ahead, try to get me to hate you. It's impossible. I'm not going to do it. Even though you hate yourself. That's why we try to that's why we stir shit up. Because you're programmed, because guess what? You're a sinner, you're a loser, you're a failure, and you're going to have to create a certain amount of suffering to feed your program. Remember something, every program is alive, and it has to be fed. And the ones that aren't unconditional love for me are dead. So you can hate me. Don't care. I'm not make this up, but Lori, do I get threatened every day? That I'm going to jail? Yeah? That I'm doing things illegal? That I'm ripping people off? We're coming for you? You know, people, almost every lecture, not everyone, but certain place I go, people threaten me that I'm coming and I'm going to ruin your lecture. I'm going to tell everybody what you are. What do I say, Lori? Come on ahead. Come on down. Come on down, Jimmy. Pick door number 1. Let's get her done. You don't need anybody's approval to love yourself. And you better get that. And I mean it. If I could get you guys to buy into the unconditional love thing, here's the problem though. Remember the subconscious that's 90%? How long have you told yourself that you're a piece of shit? Huh?
61 years.
61 years. And I don't mean to swear, but sometimes it's needed because you're not. So now what happens is okay, here it goes, guys. So whatever you repeat the most becomes your program. When you first hear something from somewhere, it doesn't matter if it's going to save your life or ruin your life, your subconscious is going to push back on it. Mine won't. I could hear the most craziest thing and go, I'll check it out. If it's not going to do harm to me or someone else, I'm checking it out. I don't care how crazy it sounds, because the craziest things in the world are the most fun and they are the most life-giving, life-saving things that you could ever do. So I am looking for that. I don't want to do anything that the majority are doing. Absolutely nothing. Did you hear what I said? I don't want to breathe like them. I don't want to eat like them. I don't want to party like them. I don't want to sleep like them. Would you want to? No. They are prisoners here. This is a prison planet. And I'm going to tell you something. Until you know that you are not the curse, that you are not a sinner, you're a winner, you're not a failure, you had to repeat something long enough and strong enough, but because you feel like a failure, just as you were going to get there and perfect it and feel really good about yourself, you stopped. And that's why you're not good at much. I'm not angry. I'm just trying to get in there. You know, people come on here. Who is this guy? He's really aggressive. Why is he so angry? I don't know. It's really nice that we all got together today. I think today we're going to try unconditional love. Who's with me? Are you like out of your skull? That's never going to work. Because I have to come up against all of the other advertising that you're unworthy. So I got to do something to, what the heck was that? And that's what this whole life coach certification is about. You know, we just got over 20 people here. I should have did it yesterday. But we'll ask how many people here are going to become practitioners. And I guarantee you that it'll go up another 30% before we're done. Because you won't be scared anymore. Because you've all always wanted to feel better, live better, love better, get better, and then shine that light on everyone. And before this week is over, I'm going to prove to you that you will be the most powerful practitioners in 9 days out there. Because you are a genius. You have everything inside of you already. We just have to wake it up, and then you've got to mind your own business and not give a crap. Well, give 3 craps a day, but don't give an emotional crap to anything that anybody's saying to you or thinking. You have no right to be a practitioner. You didn't give hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you didn't go to school for years. That's not my problem. That's your problem. That's your problem. And every accredited school that teaches health does not. Take a look at the difference in a naturopathic college now. From now to 20 years ago, you won't know what the hell they're even up to. I will never sell out. No one is ever going to tell me what to do. So I will be the guy that's a paper mill, because you will get a doctorate from me and you will be proud of it. And the rest of the world will tell you that we're a paper mill and that you're a fake doctor. I'm a fake doctor. Don't expect to be approved. And if you want to be approved, then you're going to be twisted and diluted. So you better get that. Are you government approved? No. Why should I be? Listen, but we are getting accreditation. That means that somebody can actually go through the Indigenous or go through different types of government programs and be able to get financial assistance from us. So understand that. We will be recognized by the World Organization, World Health Organization. I don't know why, but somebody I'm working with believes that, you know, we should have that, because guess what? The majority of the population don't know that they're the ones that are bringing down the whole world. So now he says we might as well get the accreditation, because guess what? I said I don't want that, and he goes, yeah, but the majority don't know that they're the ones that are actually messing up the world. And I'm going, yeah, you got a point. Might as well give them what they need. So yeah, I don't know. Should we or shouldn't we? I don't care. We never get it. I don't need it. If you think that you need to get accreditation or an approval from the majority of the population, don't worry. You don't need it. And you want only the people that are saying, I want to become my authentic self. I want to be my own healer. I want to become my own lover, and then shine that light to have others do it. Remember something, if you don't bring your vibration up and you don't make healthier choices, you're dead anyway. And if you're not dead, you're going to suffer all the way through. You know, I might have a tweak here, like Sage, like I do put things off. If I didn't eat and drink and live properly, I mean, I'm 67, I go like a rocket. And I have had no work done on my hip or my neck, okay, or the shoulder, and I've done years and years of non-surgical. I don't get any work done, but I needed to get it done because it's all, you know, you can't put that stuff off. But the reality is I'm in great shape. I don't get sick. I don't have diseases. I don't need insurance. Okay, I don't need you to pray for me, thank you. But I don't. Because I already know that I'm totally connected to that which I call God. And guess what? I've never sinned in my life. Sin means missing the mark. And understand something. Did I used to sell drugs when I was younger? Yeah. Did I drink? Yeah. Did I cheat on my girlfriend? Yeah. Did I do all that stuff? Yeah. And so did everybody else. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. And the reality is by the time I was 6 years old, I knew that I was in survival mode. I was so fearful of my parents and every other adult. And back then, you should be seen and not heard. I didn't have a voice. I didn't have anything. And most of the stuff that they were doing, I already knew it was ridiculous. So, yeah, in the town I lived in, Broadhaven, Ontario, I was called the devil child. And I was okay with that because I was having fun. Nobody was going to break my spirit. What happens when people get their spirit broken? Well, they have a neurological disease. They have an autoimmune disease. Because when your spirit's broken, you're attacking yourself, and then your body finally, after you've done it emotionally for a while, your body does it physically until there's nothing left. And understand something, whether you want to believe this or not, 19 out of 20 people that are in wheelchairs can still walk. And people pick on me all the time. Oh, why don't you leave them alone? Why don't you leave those? I'm not picking on them. I'm trying to tell you that people are programmed to limp, cane, walker, wheelchair, hospice. That's it. This is all just a money-making scheme. And understand something. I'm not going to try to get anybody out of a wheelchair that doesn't want to be out. And understand something. A lot of people want to be in that wheelchair because they've given up and God loved them anyway. And you know what? I don't know what their life is like, and maybe they just can't take it anymore. Or guess what? Now they're in the wheelchair, and guess what? Now I've got his attention. Now he's going to push me for the rest of his life. I'll get back at him. Now I don't have to go out there and risk anything because I have a genetic disorder, which there isn't any, but I have a genetic disorder. That's what they told me, and there are no genetic disorders. I apologize, but there isn't, and you can believe it if you want. Okay, but as soon as you have a genetic disorder, that takes all responsibility away, and now you just go, oh, well, that's it. Okay, I got this. How many of you remember when you were younger that it was so cool that when you got the flu or the cold, you got all mommy's attention and you just loved it? What if that became a program and it was the only way for you to get love? Do you think maybe you could create a disease and then you didn't even know it, but on a subconscious level that actually you used for the rest of your life to get the attention that you feel you deserved and you didn't? Oh no, I'm not allowed to talk about this stuff. What a troublemaker he is. No, I'm here to stir it up, make a mess, and then it's your job to put it all together and find your authentic self, and then go dust off your passion, your dreams, and mind your own business, and do not give a crap, especially what your family says. If it is unconditional love and care for yourself and it does no harm to anyone, that's all you have to ask yourself. And then if that's the category it fits in, they're just trying to do you in. And they don't even know it because they've been programmed for it. Did you get that? I hope you got that. There's no enemies out there. There's just programs. People aren't bad, but there's some bad programs. So once you make the person bad, once you know, you don't have to like their program, but once you don't like them, that's when you get sick. I don't like your program. Is that okay? I don't want to do that program anymore. The toking, the smoking, the choking. I don't want to have a chokehold on me. I have nothing wrong with you. I love you. I'll always love you. I'll love you unconditionally. But I have to give that up. For myself, I've got to walk away from that relationship. I'm not walking away from you. But if you're going to stick with that relationship, I have to be away from you long enough and strong enough to create a new program called unconditional love for myself, not conditional love. And understand something. Did your mother and father have conditional love for you or unconditional? Does your religion have conditional love for you, or does it have unconditional? Does your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your children have conditional love for you or unconditional? You know what the answer is. You know what the answer is. I don't get angry at my family anymore. But I will roar like the lion. Roar! And then I'll go, and I love you. But don't think you can keep doing that. Okay, I won't. But you can continually do it to yourself until you're tired of it. But just don't bring it here anymore. Remember something. When you invite people into your life, you're not inviting people, you're inviting programs. You think about that. When you get desperate, you'll get desperate programs. How's that feel? I just want someone to love me. It's not good. And that's why they got us, and that's why the planet is always going to be the same. It's a training ground. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on people that have these fantasies of some savior coming down. Just understand something. I'm tired of the story. My father was a born-again Christian pastor, and every day we were waiting for the return of Jesus. And understand, Jesus never left. The whole thing about Jesus is to walk in the shoes of unconditional love. Why do we have to wait? Why can't we become that now? I can't wait until he gets here, she gets here, they get here, it gets here. No, here now. Be here now. Be that which you are waiting, what you're waiting for to come and save you. Be that now. And understand that will become a beautiful, beautiful day of celebration. But you're going to have to totally let yourself off the hook for everything that the world has ever judged you for. And every one of you, I can say, hey, what do you think about this if you did that? And you would go, oh my God, that's bad. And then this person would say, I don't think much about it. And it's only because that person who programmed you made you feel that that was bad. That's it. Just know this, everything is a program. You're running a program. So when you bring your belief systems in and create chaos and conflict, okay, with other human beings, understand something. You got sucker punched. I need you to understand that this is who I am. No, I don't need to know. No, I don't need to know. But can we just have a nice relationship? Love is not the answer. It's an ingredient. We could all take the same ingredients and go bake a cake, and it's going to turn out different, isn't it? Because it's the intention behind it. I want to bake a cake because I'm addicted to sugar. I want to bake a cake, okay, because I need everyone to tell me how much they love it. I'm going to bake a cake because I love baking. Which one's going to taste the best? Thank you. That's what it's always been about. And understand something, whether you want to believe it, the most important thing on this planet is your spirit. And if you don't want to feed it on a continual basis with a slight smile connecting to your breath so you connect to your Creator with your shoulders back and your chin up and walk in pride with yourself, and understand the next time somebody says, you need to destroy that ego of yours, understand there is no such thing. There's only lack of confidence. There's no such thing as an ego. Prove it to me. I want you to prove it. And as far as ego goes, I am an ego. I will fly high. When chaos happens, I'll stretch my wings out and I'll fly high. And then when everybody's done kicking the living crap out of themselves, I'll land and say, is there anything that I can do to serve? Think about how addicted you've been to chaos. Oh, it made you feel so good because it was a distraction from your own chaos. And people that don't have chaos don't buy into chaos. So think about how much you talk about the chaos in your family or the chaos in the world. That just shows you how much chaos is in here and how out of control you are. When the only things that you need to learn how to control is your emotions, energy, and motion, which create frequencies, which you could heal. If every one of us believed in unconditional love here, and we all brought our vibration up, what could we accomplish? Oh, I know. Why don't we all just get depressed? Well, there is no depression. There's only anxiety because your brain is just a computer. There's no such thing as depression. There's such thing as a person actually terrorizing themselves to the point that the brain has to shut down. And all you needed to do was get in a hammock on the beach and relax for maybe 2 weeks and swim and eat coconuts. Not go to a doctor to take antidepressive meds that have only one side effect, and that's suicide. Either suicidal thoughts or suicide. The biggest research that's ever been done on antidepressive meds that came out about a year ago, and they found out one thing, that the only side effect, whether it be good or bad, is suicidal thoughts. And guess what? Is it still on the market? So understand, I am not going to go try to fight that. But am I allowed to tell people that, guess what? It's never coming off? That the drugs are never coming off? Oh, and people don't like this. But that which created the universe gave the keys to the city, to the psychos, and then you were supposed to see if you could rise above it. And that was your test in this lifetime. Do you think you're going to win? Are you going to pass it? It takes unconditional love and unconditional care. There is nothing else. And then you can say, that guy's so full of crap. He's so full of himself. It doesn't matter because I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time. I don't get depressed. I don't get anxiety. And understand something. I guarantee you that none of you have been attacked like I've been in the last 2 years. And I want to thank everybody out there for doing it. Because they showed me that I'm not a fraud. I am going to stand in that power of self-love and self-care until I leave here. I do not fear leaving here. I don't fear staying here. But I will go where I want to. And I will do what I want. And I will be what I want because with unconditional love, I am not harming anyone even if they don't like me. Even if they are pissed off at me, it's going to happen. My God, you've been kissing the butt of almost everything so that you could have approval. And how'd it work for you? So stop kissing butt and then fall in love with your life and the moment. And everything's just going to stay the same anyways. People that are unhappy, you can't do enough for them. They run unhappy programs. People that talk about pain all the time, that's their addiction. I just want to find something to love. I just want to find something to fix. I want to be someone's hero. Be your own hero. Don't follow anybody. Make sure you learn from people that have what you want. And once you've got it, move on to someone else. Learn what you can from me. That should only take an hour. And then move on. Move on. Expand. That's the thing that you can do is you have unlimited expansion as long as you're willing to change your belief systems. Just ask yourself on every level with everything that you believe, Does it have unlimited opportunities for you with that thought? Does that thought have unlimited opportunities for you? And I'm going to say BS, it doesn't. And I don't care what it is. Everything that you believe, you go, oh, you know what? You can always be happier. And what did I tell you? Be grateful for everything you have. But want more. Want much more. And humble yourself down in front of no one on this planet. You don't humble yourself down in front of me. You don't say sorry to me. You better have hurt me if you're going to apologize. You don't say sorry to bother you. You know, somebody accidentally stepped on my toe. Oh, I'm sorry. Really? I'm sorry for almost brushing up against you. I'm sorry for breathing. Stop it. And you know what? I am where I need to be, at your level. You talk to me as if we're friends. Don't you talk to me and put me on a damn pedestal. Do you know how uncomfortable that is for me? I really try to hold my tongue, but it makes me uncomfortable. Eh, Lori? And I'm just there, you know. I can't believe I'm talking to you, and I'm just going, please, stop it. And nobody's allowed to say you're amazing. Nobody's allowed to thank me for the rest of the week. You're going to say anything that you want to say to me. You're going to turn it around, and you're going to tell yourself that. And that's how you're going to live. You're going to internalize things. And people are going, well, he's teaching people to have an ego. Trust me, it's not. It's all been a lie. It's all been a lie to stop you from going into that God spot in your heart and turning yourself on. If you really believe in God, then guess what? Then why don't you act like it? And why don't you just become the most awesome shining light on this planet? Cut the crap about your religion, please. Shine your light so bright that people just go, wow, what happened to her? What happened to him? I guess you can tell my father was a born-again Christian pastor. I mean, I've got some of that in me, eh? You cannot just, but I'm my own person. And I really mean what I'm saying to you. And some of it, you're just going to go poo-poo on, and I get it. I don't need to hear that. You know what? 30% of what you said was right. No, 30% of what I said you were ready to hear, and 30% maybe you might want to utilize, right? But the other 70%, why would you want all of what I say to be right? It's not. This is just me. I'm just telling you who I am, and then you'll pick from the menu, and you'll go, yeah, I could use a little bit of that. But understand, you don't want everything I have. You just want a few things, because you don't need anything I have. You don't need, not one thing that I have, you need. Everything that I say, do you understand? Look at me, drama. By the time I get done here, I'll need a break, right? Because, okay, drama queen, king, chill out for a minute. You know, it's all an act. And I understand that if I can get to people more when I'm like this, right? You know that. Monotone. If you've got a monotone and you're scared, I don't like to speak in public. Well, you're definitely not going to be one of my trainers. Oh, so tell me how you feel. Well, it's been a rough time. And I lost my voice a long time ago. And I'm scared to speak up because will you hit me too, Dr. Wolf? Right, Simran? Huh? What?
Yeah.
What? What? What?
Right.
What? What? Okay. Hearing problem.
Yeah.
I push everyone. Okay? All right? I had somebody very upset with me today, right? And I just said to her, my job isn't for you to fall in love with me. My job is for you to fall in love with you by the time you leave. That's it. That's my job. Hey, listen, if you truly come from your heart, don't worry if you piss people off. Make sure you hug them. Tell them you love them. But if you're coming from your heart, let me tell you something. It's not easy to try to get somebody to fall in love with themselves. For one thing, if they have any type of parents, guess what? That is a selfish act. Or it's one that could get you to go to hell for the rest of your life. And you don't even know it. People go, I'm not religious, Dr. Wolf. Then why do you judge so hard? You do know that the true indigenous American Indian never had a religion. It was all spirit. They never punished their children. They sat down with them with unconditional love. And this is why we got to kill those people. We got to kill them, not just for their land, but for their way. Because the indigenous in the world are trying to show us the way. And even though a lot of them have lost their way because government and corporations have gone in to kill them, and they're still doing it. And that's the truth. Become indigenous. Become a spirit being. And understand that everyone here is a spirit being having a physical journey. And then you focus on their spirit and know that there's a spirit in there and they're not bad people. They just have bad beliefs. Think about that. Go get yourself some fresh air. We're going to come back. I'm going to go through. This week we have our Send Those Parasites Packing, okay, sale. And so I want to go through what we would do to actually get rid of parasites, since 99 out of 100 people have parasites. And understand something. And we'll talk about parasites even with 2 legs. Okay? All right? All right. Have a great break, guys. Thanks for joining us, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Brave hearts rise.